me.
Well, it's been 5 weeks and I'm back, my friends. Yes, I didn't know if I'd make it 4 weeks without uploading a video to YouTube, but I made it. And here we are on the 24th of July 2017, which means that it has been 5 weeks since my most recent upload to YouTube. And from the correspondence I've been receiving, I can tell that some of you were wondering where I was, and I'm perfectly fine. Still here in beautiful Brisbane. In fact, guess who was in Brisbane just yesterday? None other than Neil deGrasse Tyson. And in fact, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to upload this particular video, was to let people who've signed up for a membership of my website know that there's another video waiting for them right now. In fact, I happened to just pop by the old Brisbane Piazza when Neil deGrasse Tyson was going through his presentation. And my God in heaven, are we dealing with some kind of a wacky religion? He talks to his audience like they are a bunch of retarded children, and when he tells the most ridiculous jokes, they laugh. Oh, how they laugh. They laugh at these jokes that Neil deGrasse Tyson tells. Really phenomenal stuff, guys. If you haven't been to a Neil deGrasse Tyson presentation, I certainly hadn't, then you might not realize just how condescending it is. It's incredible. He's standing there going through the numbers. He's like, well, here's a trillion, and there's a trillion grains of sand on a beach. And then the audience is like, ooh, and then he tells us a few stupid dad jokes. And then he'll move on to, and you know what's bigger than a trillion? A quadrillion. And that's how many stars there are in the galaxy. And the audience loves it. It's truly phenomenal, and I was fortunate enough where I was standing, I didn't pay for a ticket to get in, where I was standing, I was able to look at the crowd and see their reactions. In fact, I might even show you guys a little bit of footage from the video. Check this out. Yeah, that's right, guys. I got a cheeky little look inside the piazza from the back or from the side, and I could see the audience, I could hear their responses, because the piazza is open air, you see, so you had to pay a ticket to get a seat, but you could still hear everything from outside. And yeah, truly incredible stuff, guys. So if you're a member of the website, go and check that out. And in fact, while I've been gone for the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've still uploaded quite a number of videos and articles and even some audio to my website as well. So those of you who enjoy the skeptical take that I have, don't worry, there's plenty of material. It is there on johnlebon.com. Now, I know that a lot of people do feel as though, because I've released literally hundreds of videos and hundreds of hours worth of content for free over the past few years, they feel as though I owe them something. They're like, well, you've released hundreds of videos and hundreds of hours of content completely for free, so now everything you do, you owe us. You owe us everything. How dare you have a $5 per week paywall on your website? How dare you? You owe us. And I do understand that that mindset that some people have. I used to be a complete retard as well, so I know what it's like to have retarded thoughts. But for those of you who do value genuine skeptical content, genuine research, interested in things like the history hoax and these sorts of topics, I recommend you go and check out johnlebon.com right now. Links in the info box below to some of the more recent material that you might find interesting. And just before I go, I found this on one of the poll boards recently, and it got me thinking about the YouTube so-called truth scene. And one of the things that I've suspected for a while, but has really been proven to me in just the last little while, maybe the last few weeks, maybe the last couple of months, is this idea that even though there are some good people on YouTube who are putting out good content, there's a small number of people, but they do exist. And there are a small number of people in the audience who are good people. Not many, but they do exist. While there are some good people here, the majority of people here are here to blame someone else for their own problems. I do believe this is what's happening. People don't feel content with their lives, and that's perfectly understandable, because look at the world and the way that it is. It's perfectly understandable that we wouldn't feel content with how things are, but rather than trying to improve ourselves, I think it's very easy to try and blame somebody else, whether that's the government or the Illuminati or the Jews or the Jesuits or whoever you think is responsible for how the world is operated. It's much easier to blame them and to watch videos blaming them and this kind of thing than it is to make positive changes to our own lives, to eat better or to sleep better or to exercise more or to read more or to think more or to get away from bad habits or bad people. Those things are all very difficult compared to sitting behind a computer screen and LARPing about how one day the system's going to come down, or one day there'll be a day of the rope, or, you know, one day the movement's going to do this or whatever. It's, you know, I think you guys can see where I'm going with this. And that's one of the reasons why I've really enjoyed my last 5 weeks away from YouTube, and why going forward I think I'll be doing much more of the posting to my website to people who actually do care about this stuff, and maybe not as much posting to YouTube, because I do think this place, it can be toxic when you're surrounded by people who talk a big talk. Boy oh boy, do they talk a big talk, but when it comes to actually improving their lives, they show no evidence that they've ever done that. And just for a little tidbit for you guys out there wondering, well, what evidence do you have that you've improved your life, JLB? There's plenty of evidence, but at the risk of being called conceited, why don't I just show you some footage of me doing something that I'm willing to bet good money the vast majority of men in the so-called truth movement couldn't do if their lives depended on it. John the Bond on the 24th of July 2017, and until next time guys, you take care of yourselves.